Welcome to the Political Matrix News. We have the sources, we have the truth from inside the political matrix. Well, sports fans, it's politics time once again. Political Matrix News. Rob Milford in Orlando, Greg Fink in Gainesville, Scott Miller in Pensacola. We're taking the temperature, we're taking the pulse all across the Sunshine State. Nothing like seeing a headline. This is where Disney beat DeSantis and he lost Florida. And it's, I don't know if you've seen that headline or maybe just because
I've seen a couple of permutations of it.
Well, it goes like this. It goes like this. There is a website here, Inside the Magic, which is done by a bunch of Disney lovers. And anything that DeSantis does to Disney is horrible. Anything Disney does back to DeSantis is great. And the fact that the lawsuits were all dismissed and they're all done, nobody's in court anymore, nobody's suing anybody. But oh my gosh, what a horrible loss for Ron DeSantis. Dun, dun, dun.
And we'll show him he's never going to be governor of Florida again.
Legally.
Yeah.
Victory for Disney.
Hey, they're going to get him sooner or later. I tell you what, we have been bombarded in the last couple of days about with political ads. The gloves are off. There is no slack after the conventions that say they're going to wait till, I don't know, Labor Day, this coming Monday. By the way, we're doing this on Tuesday, the 27th of August, just so you can keep in track of what we're doing and how we're doing and such like that. But the gloves are now off. The campaign is underway. They are coming out swinging every day. I want to start first off with a piece. To call it a commercial is a little bit of a stretch. It's more of an infomercial. And yes, it's pro-Donald Trump. It's very much pro-Donald Trump. But I don't think the campaign had anything to do with it, which makes it even more interesting. In a time when you can produce a political ad on your laptop, or a talk show for that matter, at a time when you can do that, somebody spent an awful lot of time gathering the clips together,
right,
writing the narration. A good job with the narration, too. But this is the first pop I want you to see, and it's 3 minutes to make the case for Donald Trump.
Donald Trump came to the Detroit Economic Club and stood there in front of the Ford Motor executives and said, if you close these factories as you're planning to do in Detroit and build them in Mexico, I'm going to put a 35% tariff on those cars when you send them back, and nobody's going to buy them. It was an amazing thing to see. No politician, Republican or Democrat, had ever said anything like that to these executives. And it was music to the ears of people in Michigan and Ohio and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. He's saying the things to people who are hurting. And it's why every beaten down, nameless, forgotten working stiff who used to be part of what was called the middle class loves Trump. He is the human Molotov cocktail that they've been waiting for. The human hand grenade that they can legally throw into the system that stole their lives from them. Although they lost their jobs, although they've been foreclosed on by the bank, next came the divorce, and now the wife and kids are gone. The car's been repoed. They haven't had a real vacation in years. They're stuck with a shitty Obamacare bronze plan where you can't even get a fucking Percocet. They've essentially lost everything they had, except one thing. The one thing that doesn't cost them a cent and is guaranteed to them by the American Constitution, the right to vote. They might be penniless, they might be homeless, they might be fucked over and fucked up. It doesn't matter, because it's equalized on that day. A millionaire has the same number of votes as the person without a job. One. And there's more of the former middle class than there are in the millionaire class. The dispossessed will walk into the voting booth, be handed a ballot, close the curtain, and take that lever or felt pen or touchscreen and put a big fucking X in the box by the name of the man who has threatened to upend and overturn the very system that has ruined their lives. Donald J. Trump. They see that the elites who ruined their lives hate Trump. Corporate America hates Trump. Wall Street hates Trump. The career politicians hate Trump. The media hates Trump. Trump's election is going to be the biggest fuck you ever recorded in human history.
Wow, that was I've seen it before. Now Scott's laughing because he's like, "Damn, I wish I could have done. I wish I could have done that." Right, Greg?
Right?
Greg, weigh in, buddy.
I think it's a very, very good commercial. I think it's very telling about how basically Trump is just shocking the world, and that's the whole idea of the whole. I mean, when it comes down to it, it's about him shaking up the whole system, and that's what everybody needs. I mean, this whole system of everybody just votes this one way or just votes this other direction, and it's been doing that for a few hundred years. It's worked out great. That's good. Everybody talks about that. That's wonderful. But it's given us a very high inflation, high debt, and I mean, it's time to shake the system up. And I think that's the reason why he got so many votes in 2016. In 20, he got sidetracked by COVID, but now we're back to a new day again. I think it's going to be very surprising and very very telling.
I think it is too, and I'm still stumbling over the Biden claim. Hey, we created 16,000 jobs or 16 million jobs, then added another million to that, and it's like
and
no.
Take 800,000 away.
Yeah, we just want 200,000.
Yeah. So there's that. But the next commercial I want to show is Kamala. This actually came out today from the Trump campaign. Kamala Harris, in her own words, well, let her go to the grocery store and have at it. It's a quickie.
Everyday prices are too high. Food, rent, gas, back to school clothes. That is called Bidenomics. A loaf of bread costs 50% more today. Ground beef is up almost 50%. There's not much left at the end of the month. Bidenomics is working. The price of housing has gone up. It feels so hard to just be able to get ahead. And we are very proud of Bidenomics.
Well, if someone's going to make a case against a politician, the politician themselves is pretty good. And that's just one. That's inflation.
Right.
That's what I've been knowing the whole time. And this is part of why Kamala doesn't want to get up there and do individual interviews, because she has a long record of putting her foot in her mouth, and once she has to own up to that, that's where the dominoes are just going to start falling. And we've known it the whole time. Frankly, it's why the Democrats didn't want her to take over the mantle. Why they stayed behind Joe for so long, because they know about this vulnerability.
They were begging for somebody else to come out. They wanted somebody else to come out. Nobody else did. It took them 3 hours to endorse her, for God's sakes. She was in the next room.
Hey, there's no
I mean,
daylight between them. None.
he didn't really want to do it.
Now, I think the complete mistake of Donald Trump was not saying to the public, and this is 2020, we had made the best judgments based on the available information, and given the information, we would have to do this all over again. That
Right.
would be number one. Number two, he did not run on his record enough. He had a record. The judges appointed, the laws that were passed.
Yeah.
Yes, you could say, yeah, we got conservatives on the Supreme Court. And of course, the ultimate Donald Trump bite him in the ass was the overturning of Roe v. Wade. And for Kamala to say we're going to make the right to abortion constitutional, the idea of a constitutional amendment allowing abortion, before, mind you, before an equal rights amendment.
Wow.
I mean, come on. I think a little more highly of the Constitution than saying, hey, you can have abortions now.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's zero chance of getting a constitutional amendment.
Yeah.
I mean, something would have to be so overwhelmingly popular that it's a foregone conclusion, and abortion ain't it. And the fact that they've got abortion, relegated to the states where it should be, I think is going to work well for most people.
Right.
Mhm.
I think, and also with Trump, I think the biggest reason why, he could not really articulate the entire messaging back in 2020 is that his for all practical purposes outside of COVID, everything in his agenda stopped after 18 months. I mean, he's pretty much neutered there for the last year and a half of everybody saying that he was trying to kill people. He was trying to murder people. He's on the defensive every single day for assassinating elderly and killing elderly in the nursing homes and telling people to put bleach in their system and for people to actually believe that they're going to put bleach in their bodies and everything. I mean, the whole analogies and everything out there and all the attacks against him were bombarding. And so, I mean, he only had really 18, 19 good months of governing before COVID given to us by the Chinese. Everybody seems to forget for some reason.
Okay, listen, I will speak directly to that because my girlfriend's in the nursing home business. Okay,
Yeah.
So when I said, "Honey, there are 8 or 10 people that have died at this nursing home near Seattle," she said, "What?" And I on this very laptop hit the print button, printed out the wire story or the story from one of the TV stations in Seattle, and I went, "What the hell? A respiratory disease, and it's killing them." Yikes. So that was December. That was after Thanksgiving, before Christmas in 19. So he had his January of 21 up through the 22 elections. And that's about all anybody really gets anymore because there's always going to be blowback on this.
Exactly. And he did a lot in that short amount of time. That's the whole point. That he did a lot of good stuff. Imagine if you had the whole 4 years unfettered.
Well, fingers crossed. We'll do that again soon. Fingers crossed. But man, oh man, she still has all the buzz. When we come back for our next episode, which will be coming up like right now, like we're not even going to change clothes or anything. When we come back, we will talk about where the polling is, why Kamala, or Kama as I call him, she's a comma in the Democratic line. Why she did not get, you don't take the words out of my mouth, why she didn't get a bounce from the convention. Everybody gets a bounce in the convention, but the numbers say otherwise. On behalf of Greg Fink and Scott Miller, I am Rob Milford. We are the Political Matrix News. Please hit that like button and subscribe because it's free. And we're not selling our list until we get like hundreds of thousands of people, and it's really worth a lot of money. But right now, you're on the inside track, and that's not going to happen. Right? Right. We'll be back soon. Another episode of the Political Matrix News.